So I made a series of videos already, actually several videos about the placement of the North Node in Scorpio, because I'm really interested in this particular placement as it's opposite my own North Node and South Node placement. Um, my South Node being in Scorpio, North Node in Taurus. Now, something else that I want to discuss with this, I have a couple other videos about it. One video about, the official video on the placement, and then another video where I'm talking about what I've learned about it, and what I felt inspired to share based off of reading Jan Spiller's Astrology for the Soul. I read her chapter on this particular placement. And when I'm reading through the book, it's not going to be the goal to read section by section and share with you what I've read, because then that would mean not just being able to just sit and enjoy the book. However, if the inspiration comes to me and I want to share what I've read, then I'll do so. But, I'm really trying to draw boundaries when it comes to reading and learning information just for the sake of learning, versus using it for something, using it for videos and things like that. So, one of the huge important things with the North Node in Scorpio placement, as this is where the person needs to head, and what this person with this placement must balance and integrate in this lifetime for happiness, fulfillment, and inner peace, and that their life has a sense of meaning. And one of those huge things, one of the huge bullet points, is letting go. Now, letting go, and how this can come. This can come in so many different ways. This can be letting go of accumulations and possessions that a person with displacement may have a lot of stuff, or may feel the need to keep or hold on to a lot of things. When all of those things don't bring them that abundance, that fulfillment, that satisfaction, instead, deep down, these possessions bog them down and keep them from tapping into real abundance. And that comes from letting go. So they are moving towards tapping into the flow of abundance, of how when you release certain things that you no longer need, you can allow new things in, new energy in, more abundance and happiness in. And this is not going to come from holding tight, because all suffering leads to attachment. And when they can understand this, and when they can feel that really positive feeling of feeling free, of just putting that backpack down, which is super heavy, weighing them down, or emptying things out of it, the things that they no longer need, then they can feel, better about their lives and the direction that they're going. And they might actually be surprised that it is in the releasing that they experience that gratitude, and that, that sense of wealth, inner wealth that they are looking for. So this can be accumulation. This can be I haven't worn these pair of pants in this long, so there's this need to hold on because in previous lifetimes, if that's something that you believe in, I question whether I'm on the same side of that, but they have a very strong work ethic, and working hard, the value of hard work, is something that's very familiar to them. And they work so hard for something that it's this energy that they don't want to let it go. And so it's important for them to recognize what objects really are their pride and joy, and what is an excess, what is unneeded, and what they should probably get rid of if they truly want to feel satisfied. Because accumulating so many different things, there's this feeling of greed. There's this feeling of, oh, this is not going to be enough, so I might as well keep accumulating. Maybe once they find a situation where they do have enough, then, um, then there's constantly something that they think about, or something that comes up where they may need more, where it's just not enough. Um, One of the things that Jan Spiller in her book was talking about is tapping into the energy of gratitude for what you have already, and not that, oh, I don't have enough, but to be in that state of gratitude for what you already have. That way you can attract more. I think for them to tap into the spiritual energy of the law of attraction and how energy works and cycles from you giving energy and exchanging energy to somebody else and then giving it back. It's the cycle, back and forth, give and receive, that would be super vital for them to learn about. So, this is coming from Jan in what she writes in the book about you receiving something and you having something, and then you giving that energy back. This could be, your appreciation for this thing, but, it's this flowing of energy that, is important for them to learn about. Um, and, it's important that, we don't say, oh, you must, bond with others, oh, you must get along with other people, oh, you must share. It would be good for them to share their resources, to tap into this flow if they feel limited, stuck in a rut like this is bogging them down, because it's so easy for them to stick to their ways of, what they have, that they want to keep what they have, that they, possess what they have, my things, your things, instead of that exchange, instead of that bonding, instead of that, that giving over here in the Scorpio energy of change and release, which is really that secret weapon, that secret key that they need to unlock, that's just sort of waiting in the wings for them. And, it lies in that releasing, it lies in the change, the letting go. That's really the missing piece here. The North Node indicates what's the missing piece. What am I missing? I know all these things in my South Node, I've done all these things, all these towns, but then I'm missing something here. Well, that's what the North Node can help you integrate, bring into your life. And then you'll feel a sense of wholeness, a sense of that your life is like a puzzle, like not the puzzle pieces separate, but the puzzle put together. So, the dots connected, that kind of feeling. Now, other things that they may need to let go of is ideas, potentially beliefs, ways of doing things is another thing. And an aspect of this, if this resonates and if this feels right, and this is where some of the more deep aspects of Scorpio can be taken away, and this is where I start to lose what Taurus South Nodes really want, as opposed to them having to move in the direction of Scorpio. And it's really what they want at a soul level, is deep down tapping into the energy of Scorpio can help them evolve the Taurus South Node, because they're getting caught in the shadow sides of the Taurus sign, and all signs evolve through the opposite sign, and that's what the North Node can teach you, so they can heal that Taurus energy through tapping into the Scorpio side of things. So another thing that they may need to let go of is ways of doing things, ideas that they have, values that they have, that while they feel they work, that they're right, again, they're limiting. They bog them down. They feel stuck and they want to experience fresh energy, change. And they want to experience bonding relationships and merging your energy, your power with another person and receiving that energy. Because deep down, transformation is what they are craving. And when they can surrender their limiting values and always having to do things their way all the time, and if they can say, okay, well, here's my way, and this is what works for me, but what about what works for you? And what about if you're, open on an emotional, spiritual level to trying this new way of doing things and see how it works for their life? This is something, again, fresh and new, for them to sort of, change and be in a flowing state of receptivity. So, where this way, could it be easier? Could it be quicker? Could it be more rewarding? Could it kill two birds with one stone? Could it provide an opportunity that was not in place with this way of doing things? Um, and so anything energy, from the divine, from spirit, or from other people, without going into an atheistic, non-spiritual viewpoint of this placement, um, a huge part of the book, I will have to admit, Jan Spiller was talking about, just reiterating, being open to other people. It's about surrendering, always having to do it yourself. And that it's not about working so hard in this lifetime and, keeping that, hamster wheel up. It's not about, pressing on and continuing to be so stuck, so rigid, so tight. Instead, loosen up, open up, surrender that need for things to be the same, for things to be secure, for things to be the way that they've always been, to provide that sameness, that security, because that security there's a new sense of security, an inner security that is not based around the old ways of doing things and the things that you have, the things that you possess. But there is a new kind of security that she was talking about in the book. So when you can just relax, when you can let go of those strings, when you can open, when you can tap into another energy, which is humility, and when you can just allow, give your practical advice, do things, the way that you're used to doing them, yes. And, you come in with the gift of, you're able to take care of yourself. You're able to be very self-sufficient. You know how to, make money, accumulate, do all this hard work to achieve what you want, especially if it's to make yourself feel comfortable. Looks good, tastes good, on the sensory level, but to keep, doing the same things over again in terms of engaging in those pleasures, too much is too much. That's one thing. And, let go what is too much. And it's also about being in that flowing state of openness, of, that you're allowing this person in, that you're allowing this energy, this idea in, this new thing in, and you're allowing it also to leave, and you're okay with maybe giving up what doesn't work for you anymore. So, yeah. So that's ultimately, what this comes down to is, it's about, receiving the gifts from spirit, from the universe, that is being provided only if your door is open, only if you're in a state of allowing. Yeah. So knowing there's new opportunities, there's new chapters that can be written when new ones close. And there is new opportunities. There's so much gained through that loss in terms of spiritual gain. May not be material gain, but how does it feel on a soul level? How does it feel on a level of spirit? And so that's another thing that I was reading about. So that is the video here about letting go. Because that's, really the high road of Scorpio. That North Node can really point to the high road of Scorpio. And, if a person who has this placement has a lot of Taurus in their natal chart, and this is really an area of the South Node which they're working on healing the shadow sides of this through Scorpio. Because I want to rewrite, you're not trying to move away from your South Node, completely abandon it, move into your North Node. It is trying to heal, trying to do the higher version of the South Node that can come through while looking to the opposite sign, to heal that, to mend that, to evolve that. You're not trying to abandon it. So that's just a new way of looking at it. But anyway, that is my video on this particular placement in terms of the aspect of it that is about letting go. Bye for now.